Hi, this is Bob Rakes with highlights of issue 115 of the 8K Association Monitor newsletter. April is the month for the NAB show in Las Vegas, and in this issue we have some of the highlights of the show. We attended ourselves to check out what's new, and in the next few days we'll be bringing you a report and video on the full panel session that we ran with IMAX and Warner Brothers. On the 8K Association booth, we had a demonstration of 8K 120 frame per second gaming. I was on the booth myself, and the reactions of some passers-by as they saw their favourite game with such awesome performance was a real delight. Thanks to AMD and Samsung for helping us get this demo, which I think might be a first public demonstration of 8K 120 gaming, set up. It really was awesome. Anyway, our report has lots of news. There was Blackmagic's new Pixis 12K camera, a new Sony 8.6K sensor for the Venice 2, and much more. I was personally blown away by a demo of new 3D rendering technology from VNova, developers of the LC EVC codec, that made you feel as though you were in the middle of a VR movie, not just viewing it. There are more details in our report. We'll also be loading a number of videos onto our YouTube channel in the next few days, so keep an eye out for those. Big news a couple of days after NAB was the announcement by high-end media server specialist Kaleidescape that it has joined the 8K Association. The company has been noted for enabling the supply of the latest and greatest movie content in really high quality. Previously, Blu-ray has been seen as a great source of high bitrate UHD content, 4K, which can look great when upscaled to 8K. But the lack of growth in packaged media has meant that the Blu-ray standard has not evolved at all in recent years. Blu-ray has no plans to extend to 8K. Dedicated distribution channels like Kaleidescape may be the future for really high quality content, and at least provide high level competition for streaming companies. A lot of Kaleidescape customers and installers will be at the CEDIA show in September, and so will we. Come and meet us there. I recently heard that it was 100 years since John Logie Baird had first demonstrated TV to the Royal Institution in London. That turned out to be not quite accurate, as it's just 99 and a bit years, but it set me looking back at the history of the idea of high definition. It is amazing how what high definition meant has changed over the years. It's been my experience, after more than 4 decades in the display industry, that most people think that whatever we have today is good enough. I may even have been guilty of saying that myself a decade or so ago. However, until we reach the limits of human perception, I personally think display systems will continue to evolve. At the Mobile World Congress show in Barcelona, Samsung Display, the division of the Korean giant that makes the actual display panels, showed a new concept of using smaller tiled OLEDs to make larger displays. That would eliminate some of the challenges in getting a high production yield for 8K OLED panels. Now, some of the consumer electronics press got a bit overexcited by this and thought that the development might quickly lead to a lot of more really large 8K OLED TVs at much cheaper prices. Now, I took a bit of a deep dive into why this is less likely to happen than we might hope in an article. Making large OLEDs is really tricky already. Making them higher resolution and cheaper at the same time is trickier still. However, we do hope that such a breakthrough could be made to bring the awesome performance of the best OLEDs to 8K, but with lower prices. So this is Bob Rakes with highlights of issue 115 of the 8K Association Monitor.